lots of people like the activity or the sport of running. There's lots of different types of running. There's sprinting, and then there's long distance running, and then there's track running, and then there's hill running, and then there's like triathlon bits of running and all that kind of stuff. And I'm always interested in hearing other people's enjoyment that they get out of the activity of running. I don't really quite know how to explain that. I was listening to a radio show just there, and it was talking about a woman who is about to do our second only ever marathon, but hers is going to be in Svalbard, which is like north of Norway, in possibly minus 10 degrees Celsius in the middle of summer, in like terrible wind conditions, and if you run out with the course, you could be eaten by polar bears, kind of situation. I'm like going, that sounds like total horror. Why A, why would you want to do a marathon? And B, why would you want to do it in a place which is horrible? And just like, what? Why would you do it? And she said she's been training all over winter time, and she's been going out anytime it's been windy, or it's been blowy, or it's been a blizzard. She's gone, right, I'm going outside to go and do some running and get some training in for it. You're like going, is that a form of like self-punishment in some sort of way? It's like, I totally do not get it. And she's saying, you know, doing a marathon, which is 26.2 miles, she said, oh yeah, once you get to the 19 miles, oh, you know, your legs are in agony. Sometimes I'm crying. Sometimes I lose control of body parts, and oh, it's just terrible. You're like going, you're not selling it to me. You're like, at no point of any of those things you just said made me go, I want to go and do a marathon. Yesterday, on Saturday, 2 days ago, I did almost a half marathon. It was around the hills. I just got up in the morning and went, oh, it's nice and sunny. I had an idea of a route. Thought I'll go jog that, and I got back to the house, and I was like, whew, that was good. Oh, I really enjoyed that. Saw some great sights, some great views. Saw some animals, then I got back in the house, had a shower, then we went out for the day with my wife and kids, went down to the beach, and did a little road trip around the east coast of Scotland. It was a lovely, lovely day. And I would say I really enjoy the ability to be able to just get up and go and do a long distance run like that, so 20 kilometers, and just have that as a, hey, I just went for a jog. Not like it, I don't know, it's not like I'm doing it because I want to achieve something. I'm doing it just because I enjoy doing it, or I enjoy the experience of it. So I think that's how it is. I enjoy the experience which I had doing that run. Somebody said, do you want to run 20 kilometers on a running machine? I would go, absolutely not interested in that whatsoever. And it's the same with organized running events as well. So on the same day that I did my 20 kilometers around the hills, there was the Edinburgh Marathon Festival, the EMF, Edinburgh Marathon Festival, where on the Saturdays there's 5 and 10Ks going on, and then on the Sundays there's half marathons and a full marathon going on. And the amount of people that do this thing and get a great source of, or a great sense of achievement, and like, aha, I did this amazing thing. I was just speaking to a girl in the office there. She's saying she did the half marathon. She's saying, I was absolutely destroyed from it. I was crawling across the finish line. Never done that distance before. Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm so sore. Oh, life's a disaster now. There's not really a huge, apart from the sense of achievement of doing something, it just sounds like it's surrounded by a halo of pain, torture, and misery. It's like how sweet is that self-achievement center of your donut of misery? I just don't get that. But for me, the biggest thing, my biggest motivator for jogging or learning to run longer distances is, I think it really is a primal kind of safety mechanism. I think, like, for example, why do I want to be able to do weightlifting? Well, it's because I've always a thought of, like, if I'm in a car crash, I'll be able to lift the door off me. Or why do I want to be able to do 20 pull-ups? It's like, well, if I'm have you ever seen cliffhanger? I want to know if I'm hanging from a rope or from a cliff, I can pull myself up to safety. So a lot of times of the exercises and the weight training that I do, or I did, was mainly about the idea of survival. You know, you don't want to be the fat, chubby guy that if only he was strong enough to pull himself up, he wouldn't have fallen off that cliff to his death. And now with my, which at the moment, I'm so weak, I would probably just fall down. However, with my running, it's almost the same sort of thing. It's the kind of case of, if you've ever watched the film Alive, where they're stuck in the mountains and they have to eat each other, cannibal style, and two of them finally kind of go, right, we're going to go for a massive walk for days until we try and find civilization. I almost have that form of idea in my head of just kind of knowing, well, I now know if I am 20 kilometers or what's that, like 13 miles away from civilization, I know I can happily just start jogging, and in 2.5 hours or 3 hours, even without eating food along the way, I know I could survive and get to civilization without just being totally destroyed. And also at the same time, I think it's also, so there's a survival instinct, but there's also just the enjoyment instinct. Like all the jogging I try and do, or any misery training, you know, trying to get my fastest PB or my longest distance or stuff like that, that is all to make the easier runs more enjoyable. So that whenever I do go for it, I'm just going for a 5k, I go out there and I'm just like, hey, that's just a 5k, you know, it's not like it's been that difficult. Or if I'm going for a half marathon, I know it's like, oh, it's only 2.5 hours. Yeah, I can deal with that. It's not that big a deal. And it's the ability to go for long jogs like that and just really be enjoying the scenery, enjoying the view, enjoying being in nature, listening to the sounds of the birds, the wind in the trees and stuff like that. Instead of the thinking of the pain in my legs, the burn in my heart and lungs, the, you know, difficult breathing and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm interested in, what do other people enjoy about something like long distance running, and why do it? You know, what is the point of getting fitter if all you do every day is just sit in the car and drive from location to location? What is the intrinsic motivator that's making you do long distance running? I think it's definitely something primal. Definitely. That's my thought. Bye-bye.